Good evening.
Good evening.
The story we're telling tonight is a love story, and it's true. It ended a little more than 100 years ago. In 1861, in front of a simple house in Florence, the proud people of a newly united Italy inscribed a plaque. It's still there today. It reads, "Here wrote and died Elizabeth Barrett Browning."
29 years later, in Poets' Court at Westminster Abbey, the proud people of Victoria's England inscribed the name of her husband, Robert Browning.
They are forever united in their poetry, in their love, which has become legend, and in their letters, which Elizabeth remarked to Robert.
I value letters as the most vital source of biography. If the secrets of our daily lives and inner souls may instruct other surviving souls, let them be open to men hereafter, even as they are to God now. Dust to dust, yes, the soul's secrets to humanity.
She was referring, of course, to the hundreds of letters that passed between himself and Robert during his 2 years of courtship. They wrote to each other every day, sometimes 2, 3, 4 times, using the post, much as we use the telephone today.
For 100 years ago, such as progress, there were as many as 7 mail deliveries a day.
And they gave us in these letters the sole secrets of that courtship. From the first hesitant soundings to the final triumphant joining of their hands when Robert could sigh and say, "At last, now there's no more need of pen and ink."
Their love was poured out in their poetry as well, especially Elizabeth's. Her fears, her dreams, her desires were all set down in verses, but secretly. She showed them to no one. 44 of the greatest love lyrics in the English language. These were Elizabeth's gift to the man who became her husband, and to the world. She called them her sonnets from the Portuguese.
This is the material of our play, the letters, the poems, the words of Robert and Elizabeth. And indeed, having no need of pen and ink, they exchanged no more letters for the simple reason they were never apart. For 15 years, through Elizabeth's 4 miscarriages, then 41, the birth of their son, whom they also called Robert, they were inseparable until that final separation, which came in 1861 in Casa Guidi in Florence. It's here in Florence where a play begins. Elizabeth Barrett, her lungs fatally congested, carries a package of letters containing all of Robert's letters to her. Those tiny pages so filled with life. Across the street, the church was.
What time is it?
Santa Felice, it says midnight.
Is Robert asleep?
Shall I wake him?
No. No. I'll tell you. My favorite sonnet.
How do I love thee? Let me count the ways.
No. Mine.
Then you sleep. Doctor says you must, you know.
Say it with me. My letters.
My letters.
All dead paper.
All dead paper.
Mute. And white. And yet they seem alive and quivering against my tremulous hands, which loosed the string and let them drop down on my knee tonight. You said you wished to have me in his sight, once as a friend. This fixed a day in spring to come and touch my hand, a simple thing, and yet I wept for it. This, the paper's light, said, "Dear, I love thee." And I sank and quailed, as if God's future thundered on my past. This said, "I am thine." Thou wouldst think as paled, with lying in my heart which beat too fast. And this, oh love, thy words are ill availed. If what this said I dared repeat at last. He wrote to me first in 1845. I was 38 years old. You were 32, yes. How long had I been ill then? 6 years? 8. I'd not been out of my room. Seldom. Never out of the house. And the doctors held no hope. Only my little dog Flush, who lies now under the rose tree there. The post was my connection with the outer world. And Papa, of course, for my sisters and brothers. Through the post, I met you. That day, the 10th January, this was in the morning mail. And at the bottom of the letter, your signature, Robert Browning.
Newcrest Hatcham, Surrey, 10 January 1845. I love your verses with all my heart, dear Miss Barrett. I've been turning over in my mind what I should tell you their effect on me. For on that first flush of delight, I thought I should do you some little good and find fault. But I'm silent. So into me has it gone, this great living poetry of yours. The fresh, strange music, the exquisite pathos. Do you know, I was once not far from meeting you. Your friend, Mr. Kenyon, said to me one morning on Wimpole Street, would you like to meet Miss Barrett? He went to announce me, but you were not well. I feel now as if I'd been near some world's wonder, in chapel or crypt, just a screen to push. But alas, there was some slight bar. I wonder, is it ever to be? Yours sincerely, Robert Browning.
50 Wimpole Street, the 11th January. Such a letter from such a hand. I thank you, dear Mr. Browning, from the bottom of my heart. Sympathy is dear, but the sympathy of a poet. Will you take back my gratitude for it? As to my faults, if you would ever... Of course, I do not pretend to meekness under criticism, so it is possible I may not be altogether obedient even to yours. Is it true I was so near the honor of your acquaintance? I pray that I may recover the opportunity. But not at present. Winter shut me up as they do dormouse's eyes. Perhaps in the spring. Yours sincerely, Elizabeth Barrett.
Well, I see I introduced fault-finding too cleverly. What I would have said is that your poetry does what I have always wanted to do. You speak out, you, fully as yourself. Is that a fault? You say everything you think, while I merely make my men and women speak. The honor of my acquaintance. You don't know how I await the delight of your friendship in the spring.
You nearly put your finger on a fault. I do not say everything I think, but I take every means to say what I think, which is different. While you can deal with abstract thought and with human passion. You are masculine to the height. As a woman, I have studied your language wistfully, so far beyond me. Friendship. It was acquaintance I offered, believe me, dear Mr. Brown.
Your books lie here on my table betwixt the skull and the window, in this old room where I sit all day. And when my head aches and my mind wanders, I take either of your volumes and putting a decisive elbow upon several of my own half done with poems, I read and read and read and read, and the days go by. The white throat is come and sings now. Friendship or acquaintance, the offer sticks in my head, and Shakespeare's words rise to my lips. It is an honor I dream not of. And even if you hate writing to me as I hate writing to nearly everybody, please, don't stop.
Nobody likes writing to everybody. Everybody likes writing to somebody. I've done most of my talking by post. As people in dungeons scrawl upon the walls. Not that I write to many. Dear Mr. Kenyon is one. He it was who, when I was very ill and insensible to all the glories of the world except poetry, read to me your grand lines from Pippa Pass's. God's in his heaven, all's right with the world. So, now, if you will entreat me en bon camarade, taking no thought for your sentences, nor for mine, nor for your blots, nor for mine, nor for your bad spelling, nor for mine, why then I am ready to sign and seal this contract, and to rejoice at being articled as your correspondent. Now, do not think that I send to this length always, else you would change your quotation of Juliet and say, I have no joy in this contract tonight. It is too rash, too unadvised, too sudden.
Joy? My joy, if you would but one know, would be to write out to Elizabeth Barrett that poem I have never yet begun to write, Robert Browning, His Life. It begins something like this. He believes his name will live forever. That is his faith. He's living here in this London in 1845. That is his fate. He writes from a conviction that it is his duty, and he does his best. And not being listened to by one contemporary critic would in no wise affect him. They won't buy his verses, nor praise his plays. He goes light-heartedly out to the garden filled with rose trees to write to Elizabeth Barrett. I've been meaning to ask, can you read my tiny writing?
Of course. I can read any manuscript except for the writing on the pyramids. I knew you would say as you did. I've deduced you from your work with the comparative anatomy system. You have fragments of Osso Sublimo, which I believe the serpent had, or Eve never would have noticed the apple, much less eaten it.
The first person to remark on my sublime bones was John Stuart Mill, the metaphysical head. I printed a book when I was 12, and he wrote in his margin, Robert Browning possesses a more morbid self-consciousness than I've ever known in a sane human being. So, being both stung and elated, I have changed my ways. I've been mad ever since. Real warm spring now, and the birds know it. Spring, and I will see Miss Barrett. For when did I once fail to get what I set my heart upon having?
I mean the spring according to the new style, mine, not the old style of you poets. And after such a severe winter, from which I have just escaped with my life, yes, the most severe winter since I've been ill, I may thank you for coming at all.
Dear Miss Barrett, it seems that on the octaves and octaves of quite new golden strings you enlarged the compass of my life's harp with was added to such a tragic chord, which you touched ever so gently in the beginning of the letter I received this morning. Just escaping, etc. If my truest heart's wishes avail as they have hitherto done, you shall be laughing at east winds yet, you shall. Oh, thinking of you, a captive to that illness. Mr. Kenyon told me you have not been well for 7 years, that you hardly go out of your room. I see now I have been spoiled in this world.
Don't listen too closely for the tragic call. Sometimes one's melancholy is uppermost, and sometimes one's mirth is... Well, my long seclusion has taught me 2 lessons. The wisdom of cheerfulness and the duty of social intercourse. Yes, it is obvious that you have been spared all that, or else you would not tread so lightly on the stair of life. It is delightful to be brought awake and to be considered your friend. Until now, I've had only Flush. Dear, dear little Flush, whose ears stand up at the mention of his name. Do I detect a jealousy in the tilt of your head? No, Flush. You are my friend.
If Flush is jealous, then there's hope for Robert Browning. There is one thing Flush and I would have in common. Neither of us would like your social intercourse. I've only just put up with it these last few years. Everything about it. Don't even like reading now. Or writing, or books, that is. Yet, I think you must like the operation. Still, but for what I have written, you'd never have heard of me. And through what you have written, I adore you and wish you well. Therefore, rejoice in your society, bless your friend Flush, and write, so that I may be, and with only these words of mine in fresh minute for this moment's use, yours ever faithfully.
There are few, the youngest women of the world, who have not seen more than I have. I'm scarcely to be called young now. I grew up my heart in books and poetry. My sympathies drooped towards the ground like an untrained honeysuckle, but my brother. But of this I cannot speak. Time passed and passed. My illness came. I seemed to stand on the edge of the world, all lost. No hope of ever passing the threshold of one room again. Then I turned to thinking that I stood blind in this temple I was about to leave, that I had seen no human nature, that my brothers of the earth were only names to me. I had beheld no great mountains or rivers. I was as a man dying who had not read Shakespeare, and it is too late. Do you understand? How willingly I would exchange some of this helpless knowledge of books for some experience of life and man. For what is it to live? It's not to eat and drink and breathe, but to feel the life in you, down every fiber of your being, passionately and joyfully. Is it not so with you? It is too late to meet, oh friend. Not more than friend. Death's fulcrum shroud is tangled round my feet, and if I step or stir, I reach the end. In this last jeopardy, can I approach thee? I who cannot move. How shall I answer thy request for love? Look in my face and see.
When will I see Elizabeth Barrett? When comes her spring? The chestnut tree is blooming already. In Italy it's nearly summer. Oh well, when in London. You don't know how much I value that permission to see you. I need it, I think, to make me well. I've had a constant pain in my head this past few months, ever since I received your first letter, which only very rough exercise gets rid of, and it stops my work. However, today it is gone. Replaced with another, due to dancing the polka all night, wheeling home by broad daylight.
When wise people happen to be ill, they stay up until 6 o'clock in the morning. Polka may be good, but sleep is better. I think better of her now than I ever did, since she will not come near me except in what I euphemistically call my red hood of poppies. Yes, they give me opium to calm my nerves. This make-believe may. Shall I have the courage to see you?
What is it that you're afraid of? Is my deportment.
You cannot know whether you will be pleased knowing me otherwise than on paper. There is nothing to see in me. If my poetry is worth anything, it is the flower of me. It has my colors. The rest of me is nothing but a root fit for the ground and dark.
Do you think our meeting will be like the one I had with a Mr. Simpson? Mr. Simpson professed himself to be a great admirer of my poetry. He came to see me and stood mute, twisting staining the brim of his hat and staring, yes, staring, for a full 5 minutes. And then, nodding in adieu, he spun on his heel. I heard him murmur, "So that was Mr. Browning. I did expect to find something different."
Very well, come.
Yes?
Yes, come Tuesday. You'll find at the very least a friend.
Ha! Then spring is here. Oh, I thank Miss Bennet for the leave she gives me. We'll call too on Tuesday. Should she not be well? Well, then I will call again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and again. You see, it is high time you saw me. I've completely written myself out. My foot is on the threshold of boundless life. The doors unopened yet, all preparation not complete within. I turn new knowledge upon old events, and the effect is... But I must not tell. It is not lawful. Your turn will come one day. Mr. Robert Browning to see Miss Elizabeth Bennet.
Straight away I was ware. So weeping, how a mystic shape did move behind me, drew me backward by the hair. And a voice cried in mastery while I strove, "Guess now who holds thee." "Death," said I. And the silver answer rang, "Not death, but love."
That he, who in all his works below, adapted to the needs of man, made love the basis of that plan. Through love alone, God, stooping, shows sufficient of his life for us in the dark to rise by. And I rise. Of the 570 letters exchanged between Robert and Elizabeth, one is lost, and is not the fault of the postman. That first visit, though necessarily brief, lasting but a quarter of an hour, produced for me an ecstatic note which I scribbled on my way home. It nearly terminated our relationship before it was begun. It was immediately returned with orders to destroy it. Destroy it at once. My sentiments were inappropriate, were untrue, were unexpected. Well, as Elizabeth herself heard.
You said some things, Mr. Browning, which you will not say again. Nor unsay, but forget having said it all. You will, for my sake, who am your friend. I should listen to such exaggerations. There will be no more word on this subject, or I shall not see you again.
Oh, I should have warned you. For every speck of the Vesuvius within my microcosm, there are huge pits of cold water hidden below. And I knew when I said it. It's just that I'm so unused to communicating anything on that delicate subject that when I make an attempt, I bungle. It's not that I'm attitudinizing either, like Byron. It's that I'm a poet. I call things by their names. I boldly say, this I love. I love. And speaking as a poet, to myself I wrote, yes, what you must surely forgive.
No, I love thee not. I dare not love thee. Thou seekst roses. Seek them where they blow, in garden alleys, not in desert sand. Stand farther off then. Go. Go from me.
Escape me? Never, beloved. While I am I, and you are you. As long as the world contains us both, me the loving, you the loath, while the one eludes, must the other pursue. It seems too much like a fate indeed. There. It was destroyed. So, we are to wipe clean the slate and commence again. And you are to smile and say, oh, if that's all. Please, oh, if that's all.
Well, no, if that's all. So, I will keep in mind henceforth that you are a poet. But the pain I spoke of was real in hearing you speak so.
Pain? I would do anything to spare you pain, but what? To spare you a toothache even, I would chop off... No, I will keep my hand to write poetry and to ask, have you made that journey from your room as you promised me?
Yes. I went all the way downstairs. Rather was carried. Wonder of wonders, I'm not the worse for it. And what did you do while Flush and I cavorted in the parlor?
I read that poem. You spoke me on my third visit, remember? Yes. I would build a cloudy house for my thoughts to live in, when for earth too fancy loose and too low for heaven. Hush, I talk my dream aloud. I build it bright to see. I build it on a moonlit cloud, to which I looked with thee. Oh, the music of your poetry. It is more varied, more exquisite than any other modern writer. Why? Ah, yes, who can say? Why? What is it, this art? The more I think on it, the creative process, the more it seems to me nothing more nor less than inspiration. What do you think? I think it becomes apparent all at once in a great light. I can tell anyone how to make simple melodious verses. Say how that light, how that art is born.
Of course. The creative process is just that. Inspiration, as you say. As I've always said so.
You don't know what a wonderful new thing it is to have you as a friend who must like my poetry, or I shan't like them either. I'm sending you the first of my new book, and the rest I'll bring for you to see before I print them.
Yes. Yes, I have the first. And quickly bring the rest. Your light shines brighter now than any other. Tomorrow when Papa's gone.
Papa's gone! I feel like a hero straight from Miss Emily Bronte. I steal down Wimpole Street. I lurk in the shadow like any footpad. I wait the signal from faithful Wilson. I ascend the stairs to behold you. Here, I will. Tell me what you think. Pray, when you read them, do not be tempted by that pleasure of pleasing, which I think is your besetting sin. You'd cut me off from the profit of your correction.
Besetting sin? I deny that. If I have any sin, it is in truth-telling. No, Mr. Brown. I am not servile, I am sincere. And when I say I am afraid, you will believe I am afraid. And when I say I have misgivings, you will believe I have misgivings. And when I say I approve, you will believe I approve. Besides, I have one advantage over you, one of which women are not fond of boasting. That of being 6 years older than you are, therefore entitled to comment. As for correcting, my correcting your verses, is that a thing to say?
What did I say? You tie me like a Shrove Tuesday fowl. Take your thickest cudgel, at my head it goes, that superiority in years. 6 superior years, yes, which is why I can ask you for your corrections, not expect your anger. Oh well, when you hate your love, you should be able to explain why, which is why I am unable to explain your wrath. Will you have these or not?
Allow me my wrath. It is good for me, I am sure, after the medical persecution I've been subjected to. A release. Anger. Yes, put them there, have a chair there. They are always telling us what to think or feel or create. I had a physician once who carried the inkstand out of the room so that I could not write. He considered poetry a fungus of the brain. He said he'd never known a system approaching excitability like mine, except for Miss Garrows, the only other female rhymer he'd had the misfortune of attending. She was certain to die then, though she was dancing quadrilles. She lived to do the same by the pulpit. What can the taking away of an inkstand do?
Yes, my little book, tell me what you think. The lyrics are first, and the romances, the tragedy and the drama, all ready for the printer.
You mean to print them exactly as they are?
We are ready.
Just like this?
You don't like them?
It might be well if you too were to stoop to that vulgar habit of prefacing. Do you understand? A title. Although readers are generally stupid, they are also lazy and need to be led. You mean to print them with just a line in between, nothing else?
Why not? My poems speak for themselves, I think. If I give you a title, will you give me in return, when you are well, yourself in Italy, in the spring? Oh, you wait, spring in Italy, the strawberries. I make you a mountain of strawberries.
Your siren song of Italy. I am getting quite well. I'm going out of my room, but not quite out of the house. You should have been my doctor. You example me so.
What, me, example? Like my colonel of 90, that when he heard us cadets diverting ourselves with some girls in a nearby tent thundered, "Is that the example I set for you, gentlemen?" No, I think not. Oh, what is this? A rival poet?
It came today from America. Just addressed to E. Barrett, Poetess London. It's wild Americans. Calculating that people here in England know what a poetess is. Mr. Edgar Poe. His poems. Dedicated to me. You see what he does with that great American justice of his. He dedicates the work to me, then in the same volume abuses me in the preface. Stark mad with love and hate he is. Americans are odd about poetry. Wordsworth is idolized deep down in the bushwood, yet they don't understand you. Well, with these, all that will change. You'll be known even in Chicago, I think. Leave them, will you, until tomorrow?
Until tomorrow, then.
And you shall have the profit of my corrections.
Good afternoon, sir. Sir? Mr. Barrett! Strangest thing happened just now here on the landing. Your father, I swear, frowned, turned his back, murmured, "So you're coming again tomorrow," and walked out into the street. Dear Miss Barrett, forgive me, but is it or is it not insufferable for you that a father who chooses to give 5 whole minutes out of his day to his daughter who is cut off from every pleasure of life, that when he sees a mere sympathizing man of the same literary taste as hers, who comes on a proper introduction once a month, as far as he knows, should frown, should show himself displeased? Miss Barrett, it is shocking. I begin to ask myself, is he a father?
Mr. Browning, I am accustomed to Papa, and I love him. It has happened throughout my whole life, until now, that my own sense of right has never run contrariwise to his. What you cannot see because you do not know him is Papa's deep affection behind his patriarchal ideas. The evil is in the system. He simply considers it his duty to rule like the kings of Christendom by divine right. But he loves us. And I, for one, love him. And when 5 years ago I lost what I loved best in the whole world, when I lost that, I felt that it was he who stood nearest to me on the closed grave. Yet he never once said that if it had not been for me, the crown of his house would not have fallen. But I was the cause. They sent me down to Torquay. The doctors said they would not be responsible for my life if I remained in London another winter. And Edward, my brother, whom I loved so, first son of the household, was sent to take us there in return. But when the time came for him to leave, I could not hold back my tears. My aunt kissed them away instead of reproving me as she should have done. She told Papa it would break my heart if he persisted in calling away Edward. As if hearts are broken so. And Papa's answer burnt into me as with fire tears. That he did not refuse, but he considered it very wrong in me to exact such a thing. So Edward stayed. Month after month passed, and once he held my hand. How I remember. He said that he loved me better than them all, and that he would not leave me until I was well. 10 days from that day, the boat, his boat, left the harbor, never to return. It's gone. For 3 days, we waited and hoped. The sun shone as it shines now. There was no more wind than there is now. My sisters drew back the curtains so that I may see for myself how smooth the sea was, how it could hurt no one. The other boats came back one by one. But Edward had drowned. I could not speak or shed a tear. I lay for months with a wandering mind, too near God to pray. But yet no voice said, "You have done this." Do you understand? I have never told this to another living being. I never could. Yet you will comprehend how easy it has been for me to lose faith in myself, and that I have strong reasons for being grateful for his forbearance. It would have been cruel of him, you think, to reproach me. Perhaps, but he was Edward's father, and he is mine.
All that is done now. We are with the living. This intimacy to which you admit me of all living beings in the world makes the truest, deepest joy of my life. You spoke just now of losing a source of counsel and strength. And you see, there's only once, dearest. I love you from my soul and give you my heart, so much of it as you will take.
Your heart. Your heart. If I put my whole world into it, what would I put but more sadness and anxiety than you were born into?
Stop this! Are you saying it is on my account that you refuse my heart? Elizabeth, to make my life yours by enriching it with union of yours would render me supremely happy. I will do whatever needs to be done to get whatever money needs to be taken and carry you away to where? To Italy. Where one can live on £100 a year. I can get it, Elizabeth. Charles Keene has already offered me £500 for a single play. What can I do to convince you? Even if you were to tell me your heart was bestowed elsewhere, still I'd want to serve you.
How can you have faith in my integrity, yet wonder whether I may have a preference for another? If I were in a different situation, I would accept, proudly and gratefully. I would do it, not I do. You see in me what is not, that I know, and you overlook in me that which is unsuitable to you. I am I. The present is here, speaking for itself, and the best future that you can imagine is one of me making burdens of. Only not to you, as I have vowed to my own soul. And what of Papa? he knew what you had said to me and that I had listened merely, without turning you out, he would not forgive me at the end of 10 years. He tolerates in none of us the development of that kind of feeling. And what, pray, has money to do with feeling? You cannot despise the materials of the world more than I do. But have I not told you this already? I could not be poor even if I wished to. I have £400 a year, which no living will can dispossess me.
Well, how all changes. When I first met you, for example, I thought you should be an invalid, suffering under incurable complaint. Now look at you. You walk freely about the house, upstairs, downstairs. Soon I'll wager even into the street. And I thought you'd be dependent upon money like your father, and now...
My uncle. When Papa's brother died, he had procured me the income. But with a warning. Beware of other loving. If you do, it will not be by half, it will be for life and death. But it cannot be.
Oh, lyric love. Half angel, half bird, and all a wonder, wild a desire. Boldest of hearts that ever braved a sun, took sanctuary within a holier blue. Let me dream now. I would marry her now. I would come when she left me. I'd go when she bade me. When she gave me leave, I would front him. And then together, we would walk out arm in arm into our new life. Elizabeth, must I only dream?
It is a dream. If we depend on a single yielding nerve, there can be no walking out. It is not allowed. Today, Wilson and I tried. We walked down the front steps to post a letter to you at the pillar box. When we returned, Papa was waiting in the hall. He stormed at Wilson. What madness was this? Who had put us up to this? Then turning on me, he said that I must never, never put my foot out of this house again. Never. Must I obey him even in this?
I hope you never feel what I feel in looking on powerless while you're subjected to this treatment. I think I understand what a father may exact. I altogether sympathize with his love and pride for you, and the vigilance and jealousy that entails. But here now, you must be allowed to go out of the house, and he will not let you, and you ask whether you should obey him in this. No. No. Not if there's going to be a future for us. I know it's hard for you to disobey him in this, but you must begin thinking of yourself. As for a new spring, as for a new life, not with him, but with me.
I will say this to you without reserve. Now, none except God shall interpose between you and me. If he should free me within a moderate time from this weakness, if he should make me, if not well, then enough less unwell, yes, I should be whatever your heart should choose.
And so, it's dear, oh God. At least my crown is raised over my head. May I ask you for a token? For what I always hope to ask one day, so that when I wait that second spring, give me so much of yourself, just so much, as may be given. A lock of hair, until that day.
I never gave a lock of hair to a man, dearest, except this to thee, which now, upon my fingers thoughtfully, I wring out to the full brown length and say, take it. take it thou, finding pure the kiss my mother left here when she died. Yes. Then have it. But only in exchange for gold of the same weight. It shall be pure merchandise. You have come to me as a dream comes, dearest. There's need in me, too, to know the difference between dream and vision. Therefore, yours to me.
And to me yours. Entwined thus our lives, our hearts.
As long as I remain. Flush! Flush!
Ow! Oh! Ow! I think you're right. Flush does know what jealousy is.
Oh, not Flush. The truth is, he hates all unpetticoated people. It's not that he's jealous of you. Merely he has a certain distrust of you. If you'd seen how sorry he was, you surely would have forgiven him as I have. Though I did have to have more of the opium to calm my nerves. Oh, Flush. Mr. Browning is your friend.
There's one thing I would tell Elizabeth about her friend, Flush.
When he chases people out into the street, beware the dog stealers. There's an organized gang of those fellows about who steal away everybody's flushes.
So, Flush is to remain indoors. For in Italy, should we ever get to Italy, he is to guard the house.
If you come to Italy with us, as you say, bless you. You're very brave after today. Do you know I have a confession to make? When you first came to Wimpole Street, I was frightened of you. I felt as if you had a power over me. I could not breathe or speak differently than the way you chose to make me. I believed you read my thoughts as you read the newspaper. I never doubted you were mistaken. I lived with the thought that it was my poetry you would come here, with the intention of loving whomever you might find.
That can never be anything half so untrue. I never intended loving you, nor anybody else, whomsoever. And only once, that first time, did I write on the strength of your poetry. I asked Mr. Kenyon if I should. He said you'd be pleased, so I wrote. As for expecting what followed, as for intending to love, I was scheming how to get done with London and back to Italy alone. But now, my love, my whole life revolves around you. When I feel nothing but you, when I'm not conscious of thinking or feeling anything but you. You say, I love your poetry, your intellect more than yourself. You, Elizabeth, you put me very nearly into a passion. Do you know that?
What sort of passion, dear Mr. Browning? Oh, I know. The good open passion which lies on the floor and kicks. How you must sympathize with the heroes of the French romances. At the slightest provocation, certainly slighter than yours now, they break up all the furniture and dash the china to atoms. The men do the tables and chairs, and the women do the porcelain. Then, when everything is broken, they sink down, quite naturally, in love again.
Sweetest eyes were ever seen, hate transformed to beauty's sheen. Elizabeth, you're right. How can one stay in passion with you? I love your intellect. I adore your poetry. Well, such old phrases may be praises, as you say in your Caterina. But I love you. Me, all of you.
Caterina. Well, she also spoke of that door on which she gazed too long waiting for him. And through that door you have come to me for whatever reason. So let it be.
Through that door, your little Portuguese. You know, I'd like to call you that hereafter. May I? My little Portuguese through whose door I came.
You do have the oddest notions. Portuguese, me. Call me whatever you like, but tranquilly. Passion is neither good for the nerves nor the head. Once aroused, it takes more calming than one thinks.
Quietly. Calmly. me, for your nerves in my head. Behold, your 200th letter. Oh, look at them all. I take my jewels from their boxes, call my diamonds, pearls, and emeralds, and make myself a constellation of them all. And with your help, dear Mr. Browning, I have hopes of finally walking out into the real world where I have not been for 2,654 days. But you are not to mention it until I am ready. But I am thinking.
I am thinking today of my childhood. Before I ever heard of dear Mr. Browning. Papa used to say, don't read Gibbon, it's not a proper book. And don't read Tom Jones, and none of the books on this side of the library. So I was very obedient. I never read any of the books on this side of the library. I only read Tom Paine, Voltaire, Rousseau, Mary Wollstonecraft. Given to me to bars that says in the inscription by my brother Edward. We are famous in this household for nicknames. I'm never called anything else.
You know, that's something better to say and sing than a little Portuguese. It is Bar. Yes, Bar, my little lamb in the meadow. I will call you.
Yes. Call me by that pet name. Let me hear the name I used to run at when a child. Yes. Call me by that name, and I, in truth, with the same heart, will answer and not wait.
December 31st, 1845. And on this eve, this purpose, that throughout my earthly life, mine should be mingled, made up with thine, and we two prove one force, play one part, and do one thing.
My purpose. I can barely bring myself to say it. Tomorrow, if the day is fine, I am determined to go out of the house. Yes, Wilson will help me.
Where?
To Hodgkin's only and back again. Well, the carriage comes at 3, and if you will be there, perhaps I will see you.
Oh, yes, yes.
Until tomorrow, then.
Mr. Browning.
Yes.
Shall I? Can I?
Yes, you must. Now, tomorrow, New Year's Day, 3 o'clock, Hodgson's Library. Well, to come out of the room at last. I should not pretend to be calm. I've every right to be anxious. She'll, of course, feel tired. She's not here, it's home. Yes,
Mr. Browning,
Miss Barrett.
I've done it.
Oh, look at you, the color, the glint. That's triumph I see in those eyes.
Tell me if you can, what must it feel like?
There are not enough words to say, Mr. Browning, but see, there was no turning back and no fainting. Well, we came down Wimpole Street, then Oxford Street. The crowds, Mr. Browning.
Tell me, are you Andromeda, really Phoenix reborn, with Wilson as your guiding angel?
Think what this holds for the future happiness of... You are well.
Quite. When you look at me now, Mr. Browning, is there any doubt that with your help, I could be ready for anything?
Miss Barrett, I will walk with you as far as Wimpole Street. Come, give me your arm.
Don't mind the crowd.
Elizabeth has come out of the house. 1846, and all the winter through, if the day was fine, Elizabeth came out of the house, and always to a new destination. The Serpentine in Hyde Park, Hampstead, Hammersmith. And in the early spring, when the daffodils were up and the buds were full, I went with her on the water up the Thames to Kew. But still, she was not ready for Italy. I must wait. If I approached the subject, it was pushed aside. If I further approached the subject, it was further approached aside. As with this April foolish verse, which expressed, she said, her idolatrous state over Robert Browning. There is no one beside thee, no one above thee. Thou standest alone as the nightingale sings. For none can express thee, though all should approve thee. I love thee so dear that I only can love thee. To which Robert Browning replies, God be thanked, the meanest of his creatures boast two soul sides, one to face the world with, one to face a woman when she loves him, where I blush and bless myself with silence.
Dearest, Flush and I have been out. You will never guess what we've been doing. Buying a bonnet. Looks like a serious purpose of getting well now, doesn't it? Having chosen one that looks a little like a Quaker's, I'm immediately sure that nothing can be more fashionable. But alas, when we returned, I looked in vain for a letter to your little Portuguese. The singing post is late again. Find I am jealous of the postman who holds your letters. I perfectly understand what jealousy is. Well, never mind. Having my coffee for consolation, I sat down to my desk and started writing. Beloved, thou hast brought me many flowers plucked in the garden all summer through, and it seemed as if they grew in this closed room, nor missed the sun and the showers. So in that like name of that love of ours, take back these sonnets which here unfold to, sonnets from your little Portuguese, and which on warm and cold days I withdrew from thy heart's ground. Take them as I used to take thy flowers. Keep them where they shall not pine. Instruct thine eyes to keep their colors true. Tell thy soul their roots are left in mine.
What are you writing? Something you cannot show me. What is it? Poetry? When I think of the poetry that's in you yet. What are you hiding?
Someday in Italy you shall see. I cannot allow it yet. It is too soon.
Can you not write if I invite? I promise not to look. Here, look. Right on my shoulder. And I will lie my head as you permit. May I see?
No! Solomon says there is a time to speak and a time to read what is written.
Oh?
Well, if he didn't, he should have. So, no. You must be patient.
Oh, very well. Patient Robert will wait who can, he has. Isabella and me, in Italia, we will institute a solemn days. Our readings will be rare.
Would you whisper?
Oh, Bar, I think you are the one woman in the whole world I'm able to marry. Because able to love. Oh, why do we wait? It's summer. Yes, we wait yet another year.
Shh. If Papa were to come in and see you here 2 days running, now please, stand Father off.
Why don't we just get married and end all this?
My poems sell, yours do too. I mean to write wondrous works and sell them. Out of it all may come easily £500 a year, which one can live famously on. And Florence, think Florence, Bar. The honor, Dante, and no English.
Shh. We must not speak so loudly on this subject. My words were, when I am less unwell.
What if you're not less unwell?
Dearest, it would be dangerous to leave off the opium except gradually.
You said there'd be less soon, perhaps.
I've known restlessness in my life until it made me almost mad. As if I were trapped, beating and fluttering. But talking about it will only make it worse. You see that? Now please, sit down.
Very well.
window yesterday afternoon around 5 o'clock. I'm so nearsighted I only saw a shadow in the dimness. But the shadow had a trace of you.
It was my spirit. So strongly was I thinking of you at 1 o'clock.
5.
Precisely.
At all the clocks.
I had a book from my American,
Yeah?
Mr. Lowell of Boston. Very kind he is. Graceful for a Yankee. Though he knows nothing of English poetry. All I thought as I read and read for 2 hours until it grew dark was what a waste it wasn't you.
Oh, I wish you'd been with me where I sat writing. From my chair, I can see from my window, sunshine, and a chestnut tree leafy all over, and a holly hedge and shrubs, and a blossom tree over a garden wall. How we would go out. Yes, with Flush, come in. And we'd turn the key on the world and look down on it. And the sun get higher, the chestnut tree would bloom, mornings at 7, the hillsides do pearl, the larks on the wing, the snails on the thorn.
Our bees in his heaven, all's right with the world.
There's one thing I might regret, it would be separation from home, family, that chestnut tree. I told Mother about thee and me. Father is going to lend £100 for the journey. That'll see us through a whole winter at least.
Shall you tire of me in one winter, I wonder? If you do, as I will know without your telling me, I shall merely set my mule on a canter and go live in Greece somewhere. I could never quarrel with you. But neither could I live with you if you did not love me. I love you too entirely. When I was a child, I overheard one woman tell another, the most painful part of marriage is the first year, when the lover changes into a husband by slow degrees. It seems such a dreadful thing to have a husband so by degrees. I want to say something which wounded me a little. You talked just now as if a change were to take place through marrying me. If you should make me feel in the way somehow, should I like it? You will be precisely as you are now in everything, so that when I go to Greece, you will not be better off than before I went.
Yes, there'll be a change, Val. Even that chestnut tree will be a change. Not for a married man, Val. My aim and purpose to be as poet. That is my one purpose in life. Introduce art which changes nothing except our gain of partner. And is not threatened to take her mule and her dog and go cantering off to Greece. If I may simply have my desires to be with you always.
And how can that be unless you say when? October, November.
Dearest, August even if it can be.
Yes.
But I can't decide now. Well, I'm afraid. But you know me now. And I will never, never waver.
Shall we live or die? The rest settled by flight.
Such a curious thing Papa said about you. We were at dinner. My aunt said, when I went to Bob's room today, a gentleman was sitting there. Who was that, said Papa. Why, Mr. Browning called here, said Ella. And Bar lowered her head, continued my aunt, as if to signify to me that I wasn't to come in. And Papa said, well, you should have gone in and seen the poet, Mr. Robert Browning. He's becoming a special friend of Boss.
I think the time has come for me to arrange a confrontation. I could pay some ruffians with masked faces to set upon him.
And just when he is about to be overtaken, a stranger, myself, would leap over a ditch and drive them off. and your father would shiver, proclaiming, "Oh, sir, under Providence I owe you my life. What may I do to repay you?" And I would say,
My difficulty, almost my despair, is to make you understand the two ends of truth. Both that Papa is not stone, and that he is immovable as stone. By his own light, he is upright and faithful to his conscience. And for that I love him. But now I am to leave him. And all of them. If I leave all for thee, wilt thou exchange and be all to me? Shall I never miss home talk and blessing and the common kiss that comes in each turn? Nor count it strange when I look up to drop on a new range of walls and floors. Yet love me, wilt thou? Open thine heart wide and fold within the wet wings of thy dove.
Grow old along with me. The best is yet to be. The lost of life for which the first was made. Our times are in his hand who saith, "A whole I planned." Youth shows but half. Trust God, see all, nor be afraid. A stranger will be soon to receive no more letters. These will have to serve to be reread and reread. What does this note mean? Wilson pressed it into my hand as I came in the hallway.
Be as quick as possible if you are planning anything. Mr. Barrett talks of Devonshire and Sussex. It's Wilson's way. She doesn't want you to know that she knows that we are thinking about anything.
Devonshire? You're not leaving London?
It is possible, yes. Papa talked at breakfast how this house wants cleaning and painting. I think it's only talk.
Then what would we do?
Well, do you have the listings?
Yes.
Every summer it has been threatened, but this year it should be too late, I should think, unless he has some particular reason. Nobody has their house cleaned in September.
Our house has often been cleaned, even in September. Well, here are the listings. Now, the packet boat from Southampton for Havre to connect to the railroad to Orléans, and then the water route across France leaves Thursdays, Saturdays, at 9 o'clock. And there is a boat sailing directly to Naples on Tuesdays and Fridays, also the 15th of every month, in case you think that the fatigue of a French railroad would make a ship preferable.
Oh, dearest, if I'm unfit for a journey to Orléans, must I not be just as unfit for a journey to Southampton? If I'm unfit for the river, must I not be more unfit for the sea? Let us go to France and not stop anywhere. We'll let God smooth the way before and behind. Now, we are in France. How to get from there to Orléans. Now,
Well, by that little book it uses, here, look at this. By rail, from Orléans until the Loire proceeds southeast until the Aroux joins with the air, and then it communicates with the Canal du Centre, which goes northeast. That seems rather roundabout, don't you think? Anyway, I'm sure that we can travel the whole route by water until we get to Legan, then we're in Italy. Now, let me tell you about the south of Italy.
no, I've done my reading on that already. I know you know Italy, but the traveling books are written for people like myself. See if I'm not right. Now, in the south, or not above Tuscany is where we should live, it being warmer there. Now first, La Cava.
La Cava.
How little you know. A town on the Bay of Naples near Salerno. Mrs. Starkey's book describes it as a large town with porticos like those of Bologna. About as sound possible. It says very good air and no English. Or if you don't like that, Salerno. It's a happy inspiration indeed.
Whose book is this?
It's your book. by fireflies, and the chanting of the frogs covers the noise of the city. So, if you don't like the fireflies, you will like the frogs. And if you don't like the frogs, you will like the fireflies.
Yes, I know Salerno. Salerno is a very unhealthy city. You can tell by the number of apothecaries.
Oh. Well, that's odd. There's nothing about apothecaries here. Mr. Browning, who was right?
Robert.
What?
Robert. It is my name. Not Mr. Browning. You called me Robert once. It was a bit Robert not to say extravagances.
No, indeed I did not. If you had that, it was in your house of dreams. You've always been Mr. Browning. I like Mr. Browning. I'm used to Mr. Browning.
You'll be used to Robert. Robert is Saxon, meaning famous in counsel. So let Robert counsel you on this happy inspiration about Salerno.
Robert, if we were to make our...
Oh, you called me Robert.
If we achieve this madness and make our way to Italy, do we take any books?
Well, only enough to live on. All traveling books. But I've always said it's best to read at home and open your eyes and see abroad. And when we come back, Mr. and Mrs. Browning. Well, we will walk arm in arm and... Blush, would you mind carrying an umbrella in your mouth? And when we come back, we can take our time leisurely. And then, who knows? Constantinople, Syria, Greece!
Athens! Athens with my living eyes! Athens, in Egypt. To float down the mystical Nile and stand in the shadow of the pyramids. It all seems more possible now than a walk up the street seemed last year. Buzzing, dearest. Lavender grows like katydids in summer. This morning it was Mr. Kenyon again. Anything settled? What is to be done about Italy? It is to be very sudden. In fact, there's only an elopement for you. Surely, dearest, no one will use such words. We shall so obviously be in the right. We will be married. Then, this morning, I overheard Stormy and George talking to Arabelle in the kitchen. Is it true that there's to be an engagement between Mr. Browning and Bar? At least they don't talk of elopement.
Let them call it felony or murder, as long as they don't go to church with us and propose my health after breakfast. Surely with all this talk, your father must know too. There was a sailing on the 15th.
Absurd as it seems, Papa has no more idea of me leaving these four walls than of a journey to Lapland. But the 15th, and that is next week.
But if the plunge is going to be taken, all the shivering on the bank is fruitless.
Dearest, we are to be taken away.
What?
George is tomorrow to look for a house. Papa wants the house empty for a month to see to its cleaning. Now, what can be done? It is just possible that the absence may be for longer. If I leave London, dearest, do I leave all?
We are to be married. We can go to Italy. I'll apply for a license on Saturday. We can leave for Italy next week. Now, your words to me, first and last, is that you will not fail me. You will not. Take advantage of this moving, get your own things moved away unobserved. Write short notes to the proper persons who will post them in Paris. Yes, see the way I talk to you in this brief authority you give me. You begin your part now.
Keep calm. I shall not fail. I will not fail. The 11th hour, the 12th hour, and we shall be free.
Elizabeth, 10:30, Saturday morning, Marlborough Church. I'll be there. So come.
How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul could reach when feeling out of sight, or the ends of being in ideal grace. I love thee with the level of every day's most quiet need by sun and candlelight. I love thee freely as men strive for right. I love thee purely as they turn from praise. I love thee with a passion put to use in mild griefs and with my childhood's faith. I love thee with the love I seem to lose, with my lost saints. I love thee with the breath, smile and tears of all my life. And if God choose, I shall but love thee better after death.
The miracle is nearly accomplished in this church, with this ring. When the hottest fall may run over, but the real fullness remains within. You have given me the highest, completest proof of love that ever one human being gave another. And all gratitude, all pride. My hope and aim is to preserve this love, to whom I trust to God who procured it for me. So dearest, take ever good care of my life, which I place in this dearest little hand.
All that I own, I owe to you. If I enjoy anything now and henceforth, it is through you. As I stand here, I know that of the many women who have stood where I stood now, not one, since this building was a church, has had reasons strong as mine for an absolute trust and devotion towards the man she married. Not one. You have lifted me from the ground, dearest, carried me into life and sunshine. Now none can put us under. But I do hate to take the ring off, even for a few hours. You will have to go to the trouble of putting it on again.
For the first time in 2 years, I woke this morning, no headache. Every moment of my life brings fresh proof of the intervention of Providence. So, dearest, may some benevolent angel induce your father, when he receives my letter, to pass as indifferent to him our marriage.
Do not send any letter, dearest, until we are out of hearing of the answer. It would be so infinitely worse than you can have any idea. I'm paralyzed when I think of writing. Papa, I am married. I hope you will not be too displeased. To the utmost, he will be angry. I will write to him. With the exception of this act, I have submitted to your wishes all my life. For the sake of the daughter you once loved, please, forgive me.
It is nearly time.
Now, have you arranged all with Wilson? Take the simplest possible wardrobe, since the expense is considerable, every ounce being paid for. I shall take just a portmanteau and a carpet bag.
You have not the least imagination of my state of mind. Wilson and I have a light box and a carpet bag between us. Do you take desk? You must send all before to the railway office, you say. Do I put Mrs. Robert Bragg? No. Not until we are safely out of danger. And what do you mean? Paying for every ounce? Are passengers not allowed to carry on luggage? Do the sailings.
According to today's advertisements, there seems to be nothing leaving for France until Tuesday. The days seem to change to Tuesdays and Fridays. Well, yes, I looked at your desk, and a large one, of course. And my passport. Oh, no. I've been looking at departures from France. That means Fridays or Sundays.
Sunday and Friday are impossible.
Oh, no. That's a different boat company. There seems to be 2 boat companies. That means we must be ready to leave by 12:30.
Why? Is that an express train? Oh, I'm becoming entirely confused.
Forget everything I said. We'll start over again with the listings in front of me. There. Now, the packet boat, which leaves for Havre, to connect with the railroad to Orléans, leaves Royal Pier, Southampton, tomorrow evening at 9 o'clock. I will be at Hodgson's from 3:30 to 4 precisely to wait for Wilson, Flush, and you, Mrs. Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Now, trust me, this last step will produce everything we ever hoped for.
Then, I shall have only you to love, my beloved. You only. It's as if one said God only. Your letters I take with me. Let the answers cry aloud. I tried to leave them, they would not be left. I loved you less. Oh, it is dreadful. Dreadful to inflict pain on Papa. For the first time in my life by a voluntary act. Well, the boxes are sent. Flush is on his lead. Wilson has been perfect. And I, calling her timid. We women, I begin to think that none are so bold as the timid when they are fairly roused.
At last. Now there's no more use of pen and ink. Come, give me your hand. We are off to Italy.
You wrote to me first in 1845. I was 38 years old. And at the bottom of the letter, your signature, Robert Brown. What time is it? Was it the bell?
Yes, Santa Felice, it is midnight.
My letters, all dead paper, mute and white. What day is it? Of the month then?
The 29th.
Of June, 1861. It was in May we met. This said,
I wish to have thee in my sight.
This.
Dearest, I love thee.
This said,
I am
thine. Papa, in death, could he not even in death forgive?
Don't, dearest, don't.
Oh, little Robert, will he be all right?
I'll do our part by him.
Our lives are held by God. He wrote, the elements rage.
The elements rage. And the fiend voices that rave shall dwindle, shall blend, shall change, shall become first a peace out of pain, then a light, then thy breast, O thou soul of my soul, I shall clasp thee again, and with God be the rest.
What time is it?
It's nearly 3.
this fixed day in spring. To come and touch my hand in spring.
Do you know me?
My Robert, my heaven, my beloved.
How do you feel?